Everyone. Here's a quick video to show you just how to save your work as a PDF file. It should be pretty straightforward, but it's a good file for turning in your work. It'll all be there. Multiple JPEG files converted into one PDF. So here are some thumbnails. So I do file, or these are my studies here. File, save as, and so you want to save your files as a JPEG format. JPEG, save them as high quality, maximum on the 12, and just do OK, and that should be good for all your files. And I have them all right here in a file. So here are my studies. Here's my workup sketch and thumbnails. So I would just keep all the files that you need to turn in one folder. So I have 5 JPEGs here. Also make sure your work is cropped. So I can do like this and hit Command K and then file save, and I have this saved as a nice image file here for my workup sketch. And here is the other ones for my workup sketch as well. So these are will just be placeholders. So there's a couple ways to do it. If you have Adobe Illustrator and have taken Art 109, you're familiar with this. So I would say File, New. I have 5 different files here. So I'm going to go 8.5 by 11 with 5 artboards. So 8.5 by 11 inches here. Make sure it's vertical and artboards 5, and go create. And if anyone's used Illustrator before, there's a lot to this program, but you can use it really simply. Just use this tool right here, your selection tool. And you will just take these and drag and drop these files onto each artboard. So here's one there. And here I don't have any reference photos. I'm going to go ahead and change that. I'll mention in the email, but as long as you have some studies as well as your thumbnails and workup sketch, that is fine. You can include your reference photos, but I don't need to see them on this project. Workup 1. Oops. Workup 2. Spelled wrong. That's okay. I need one more artboard. So if you need one more artboard, File, go to Window here, Window, Artboards, and click this little button right here. And that'll give you one more artboard. So now I have one more, and I put my 3rd workup sketch on there. So for these workup sketches, drag these so they're big enough, and make sure you hold Shift while you drag them so they stay the right orientation and size. So the workup sketches are the main thing I'll be looking at. It's the biggest portion of your grade. So make sure they're cropped nicely and big enough and not just like tucked down there in the corner. So kind of center them on here, make it look nice. About like that. Okay? So once you have that, and if you have Photoshop already on your computer, you can just add Illustrator, or you can use the computers at school as well. The computers in the library all have Illustrator. So this is what all your work should look like. It should be ready to go. Then you go File, Save As, choose Adobe PDF, and I want to save it into this Digital Illustration Demo folder. I'm going to call it Steers_Project 01. Hit Save. Uncheck this first box. Compression, this is a big one. Average downsampling 2, average downsampling 2, average downsampling 2. And hit Save PDF. Then you should have a nice PDF file here. And you can scroll through all your work. Always scroll through it first before you submit it. And this is just a nice way to present your work. If you don't want to go the Illustrator route, there are other ways to do it. I've used this website oftentimes. You're just going to drop your JPEGs in here. Let's see if this works. And then it will convert it to a file. So I just type JPEG to PDF, and it's this first one. I think a couple other of these websites work as well. Download combined. Let's see if this looks okay. Oops, I got to go to my download files. And there we go. Now we got these different images all here in one PDF file. So yeah, that looks pretty good. It has some weird name here, so I would suggest renaming this steers_project01.pdf. And so then you'll just submit this actual file right here. If you have another way to save it to a PDF, that is fine, but these are the ways that I find easiest. And hopefully you should be able to do that. But the main thing, just get all your images saved out as JPEGs. So these may be photographs of your sketchbook that you can take with your iPhone if you're doing this in your sketchbook. Or if you're working on it digitally, then you just have to save these as JPEG files or export them as JPEG files and then save them all as a PDF. Message me with any questions if any of this is confusing or you can't figure it out. But hopefully that should be pretty straightforward.